Hello buddies, in case you don't have time to watch all the Marvel movies but still you want to know all about Marvel, here's the right video. I'm going to explain about the superheroes. Before that, you need to know about the Infinity Stones. The Infinity Stones are 6 immensely powerful ingots based around the particular aspects of the universe. Before that universe begins, there were the 6 singularities. Then as it exploded into the existence, they were forged into the 6 concentrated ingots. The Space Stone is the first Infinity Stones and it's the stone that Thanos sent Loki to get on Earth. But the Avengers stopped him. The Space Stone that can exhaling the person who held it. When Red Skull held the stone in his hand, it banished him. Later on, when Thanos arrived in Wakanda, he used the Space Stone to attack Bruce Banner. The Mind Stone. It is the second Infinity Stone which gave birth to Vision. Vision used the Mind Stone to kill Ultron when he knows about the threat of Thanos and he wanted to Scarlet Witch to kill him in order to keep the Mind Stone safe. But Thanos used the Shrine Stone to prevent the Scarlet Witch from killing Vision and Thanos took the Mind Stone out of his head, killing him for good. The Reality Stone. The Reality Stone was one of the most powerful infinite stones. The stone was first used by the Dark Elf to kill Jane Foster till Thor saved her life. It was later given to the Collector, but Thanos stole the Reality Stone from him and used the Reality Stone so he could fake the other Guardian's death and managed to kidnap Gamora with the help of Reality Stone. Later, Thanos used the stone to make Stranger confused on Titan before heading to Wakanda.
Titan was like most planets, but I predicted came to pass.
The Time Stone, kept secret by the Doctor Strange and Wong, so that the Thanos would not steal the stone. Later on, Thanos sent his children to Earth to get the Time Stone for him, but Thanos almost had the Time Stone until Strange was saved by Iron Man and the Spider-Man. Later on, when Strange was on the alien planet Titan, he used the stone to see all the outcomes of the beating Thanos and was warned by the stone they only beated Thanos one time. Thanos later managed to steal the Time Stone from Strange, when Strange gave it to the Thanos in an attempt to save Iron Man's life.
One to go.
The Soul Stone. It is the most powerful Infinity Stone out of all the stones. It has the power to plan the death of a loved one. Thanos killed Gamora in order to get this Soul Stone. That is all about stones. Now, let's talk about the badass villain of Marvel Universe, Thanos. Thanos became one of the most powerful feared warlords ruling over a distinct region of space and having gained control over the deadly arm of the Chitauri, also adopted father of Gamora and Nebula, to be devoted and deadly Asians. Thanos greatly desired the Infinity Stones, objects of immense power that held considerable dominance over the various forces. He successfully located at least one of the stones, the Mind Stone, which he had hid inside the scepter with the capable of manipulating mind. Thanos discovered that Tesseract was on Earth and allied himself with the Loki in order to retrieve, providing him the scepter and the Chitauri army who would help him conquer the entire planet in the exchange for handing over the Tesseract to him and both of his daughter lost of him. Thanos received the Infinity Gauntlet and began to hunt for the Infinity Stones himself. Next we see about Iron Man. Tony Stark is an Iron Man. In a lot of ways, he is the heart and soul of Marvel Universe. Tony Stark's powers are fascinating because they basically come from his mind. They come from his scientific knowledge, her brilliance, his intelligence and his sort of aspirations. It allows you to sort of track a journey in the character and watch him evolve and sort of better himself through the use of these powers. And he is a fascinating character. His character everybody loves because he is immediately flawed and it's like characters that are challenging and they express their humanity. He started off a narcissistic alcoholic and grow into a hero, which I think makes him eminently relatable, and why he signifies about the Marvel Universe stands for his notion of the character. Captain America. Steve Rogers is the Captain America. What we love about the character is the humility of the character. That the fact he came from the very basic roots and through sort of will and his aspiration and the fortune of being chosen for the super soldier program. He has shown as the weak character with a kind heart. Later, with the help of Tyrium, he became a captain and the fight with the Skull Hydra who uses strength. One of the Infinity Stones he uses to make a laser gun. He was able to sort of make more of himself. Then he would be able to think what people really admire about the character. Infinity War, that the character has been changed him on more than an. Thor is an Asgardian god. He started off dead to the Thor of Asgard and found himself not worthy of taking the mantle of the king of Asgardians. I think he has been a very complicated journey when he struggles with his ability to feel worthy. He is looking for a moral compass in his life. He goes on a hero's journey, which is a very underdog journey for some of his stature because he has lost everything in his life. In a lot of ways, he is driving a heroic arc of the movie, which stands in direct opposite to Thanos' argument. The Black Widow. Her unique destinations of being a villain who is turned into a hero makes her a richer character. In Winter Soldiers, she has been paired with Captain America, was in service paragon of morality. And she is the paragon of a grace, but they have grown together. We think that the Infinity War has been secret Avengers for 2 years because they have been hunted by Ross and the government. They are like in a tight-knit family. Now her Samson and Steve Rogers is hardened all way. You can't go on the run without it affecting you emotionally. So I think all of those characters, specifically the ones we saw at the Infinity War, Captain and Natasha, give them with a much harder edge. War Mission. Rhodey is a military man who understands the duty and sacrifice the moment where he has kept Captain and Widow and Sam. When they written in a real testament to this character and who he is, he understands the priority of saving the universe outweighed the priority of pretty differences. You know, he is a very noble character and he has been becoming an integral part of the Avengers team.
Avengers!
Doctor Strange. Initially a self-adjusting doctor who believes in the science after he met with an accident and lost his control of being a surgeon, then become a mystical character. In Infinity War, the character will be smashing the character of Tony Stark. We like the fact that the two characters are kind of narcissistic and one dedicated to the idea of science and other dedicated to the magic. Doctor Strange's character played a very powerful role in the Avengers Infinity War. Doctor Strange is the precise character and the fact he can view the event unfolding at 14 million times and watching them lose 40 million times. In waiting heavy on his sword and doesn't save him at the end of Infinity War, Spider-Man. In Infinity War, there is a special relationship between the Tony Stark and the Spider-Man. The mentor relationship is very rich. Tony was very much mentor to the Spider-Man into the entire movie of the Infinity War. Especially the last scene where he disappears into dust is a crucial and so emotional. Black Panther. He is an emperor of Wakanda. Wakanda is an essential to whatever may happen and how the world may deal with what was happened to them. The technology that Wakanda has at its disposal is valuable to repair the world to moving forward. It is powered with vibranium, the strongest metal in the earth. All the technology was powered and created by them. In fact, Captain America's shield was made in vibranium. He always rises above the fray and his display forgiveness. The nobility is critical and again something that separates him from some other character in Marvel. Gamora. Gamora is an extremely strong character. She is a daughter of Thanos, which means she was held captive by Thanos. As Thanos moving conquering world, he would collect a range of children, also very special one for him. He had a relationship with her, unlike he had any of his children. He thought more highly of her than he thought of any of his other children, and it sort of a struggle to find her own identity and realized. How to push back against Thanos is a big part of her journey. The journey is shared with her sister Nebula, like Gamora, but she has also been collected by him, and while Nebula also finds a way to finally liberate herself opposite her father, she comes to the part of her journey a little more slowly than Gamora. And there remains a lot of tension between the two characters, solving around the two arcs that they have to go through in the end. They end up both standing against Thanos and standing together with one another. Loki is a prince of Asgard. He is a god of mischief. He and Thor are brothers. Another character who began his journey as a villain, he even tried to murder his own brother. And things finally show his true colors in Infinity War. When he makes an attempt to murder Thanos to save his own brother to tragic consequence. Vision plays a very special role in Infinity War. He is the only character who has the Infinity Stone actually built into his body. He was created by the Tony and Bruce, as later with the help of Thor and Infinity Stones, the characters come to the life. In Infinity War, we can see him had a romantic relationship with Wanda. As the relationship continues to develop the traits of the character and his life becomes so important to her. One of the tragic moments of the movie is when she has to take his life in order to stop Thanos from getting the stone by destroying the stones that's in his head. Falcon, he was a military hero, came out of the secret program of Falcon Project. His superpowers, what and what, come from his heart and a soul. Winter Soldier. The journey of Bucky Barnes has gone on from being a captain's best friend, being captured by Hydra, then sort of experimented on by Hydra and turned into a Winter Soldier. That was the heart of the conflict of Captain America's Winter Soldier. It was the captain who was in a situation where he had to fight his best friends and the sort of dedications reaching that friend that he still believed what inside the heart of the Winter Soldier. Heimdall was the all-seeing, all-knowing gatekeeper for Asgard. At the beginning of Infinity War, sacrificed his life to send the Hulk to Earth so that the Bruce Banner can warn everyone there about the threat of Thanos. Okay is the head of Dermalogica, tasked with protecting the king of Wakanda, Black Panther, and she takes her job very seriously, and it's come to the ultimate test in Avengers Infinity War. She is the sister of T'Challa, a princess of Wakanda, and she is the brain behind Wakanda's incredibly advanced technology. Black Panther's suit. Atri the draft is a part of very special race of beings who are weapons makers, and they have served the Asgardian kings for many millennia. He has skills and tools that create weapons. Wong is a great magician who complements Doctor Strange as a detector of the Sanctum. And the mystic arts, even Strange have a competitive and combative relationship. I think that's what makes them special in better as a team than they are individually. Mantis, one of the most fun member of the Guardians of Galaxy. She's a new member. She has very special skills that can reach each people's emotional level and mentally. She played a very pivotal role in the Avengers plan to take down Thanos, and the climax of the film things go right, none of other less but she was a source of great fun. Drax the Destroyer is born of tragic circumstance. His family murdered by Thanos as minions part of Thanos. His calling of the universe prayer to obtain stones. Thanos would go planet by planet, destroy all the populations of each planet as a character, seeking revenge for his family, but his oddity creates a really interesting tonal character. Those are times tragic and at the other times hilarious. Groot. Because of the most powerful inability to understand him, he is very spiritual character, and also he has an elemental because he is a tree. He does a moment he needed makes the right choice, and offers his own to complete the weapons that can bring up the ends of Thanos. Raccoon. Rocket is the favorite of many people. He keeps himself very distracted on an emotional level from other characters, and that makes very tough to crack and very tough to even get along with him sometimes. But as a part of fun of the characters is figuring out the way where he can emotionally connect with someone. Star-Lord. Being a new character, he grew up under extreme circumstances, captured by space pirates, raised by pirates with his father, but this idea that that related more to his humanity that he does to godlike part of himself is what makes him so interesting. Nick Fury. He makes a very brief and unfortunately appearance, but none of the Avengers are here without Nick Fury. He is the lifeblood of Avengers program and the reason that the birds are Avengers. Maria Hill. She is a SHIELD agent. She worked very closely with Nick Fury, also a brief but unfortunate appearance in Infinity War. Ant-Man has a master's degree in electrical engineering and was arrested for robbery for Vistakov. They both have drawn for the same suit and thus had the same abilities. The ability to alter their size at will, both are still as an Ant-Man. The comics learned towards Hank Pym while the MCU uses Scott Lang. Client adapted his archery skills to become a star carnival attraction, otherwise known as the world's greatest marksman. He was unhappy being a criminal. When he approached the Avengers and told them of a desire to reform, Iron Man sponsored him a membership on the team. He remained an active member of the Avengers for years. His archery skill and inactive trait arrows augment the superhuman power of his associates. His carefree and rebellious personality meant that he sometimes argued with Captain America, believing that he could make a better leader. He left the Avengers for his family. Ronin. Clint would have lost his family, so he lost the closest. He became so emotional and dangerous. If you notice well in Endgame, would bring a sword instead of arrows that makes him called Ronin. Here we bring you guys the list of Captain Marvel powers and the skills that you guys will be surprised to know about. Healing or regeneration. Not exactly like Deadpool or Wolverine, but she can heal herself from almost any lesion or wound. Super Energy Blast. Energy Blasts are one of the primary weapons that Captain Marvel uses against her enemies. Cosmic Awareness. Now, this is the unique ability of Miss Marvels and no other fellow Avengers possesses. She can force the future events which help her to combat against her enemies by reading their minds and predicting their moves. Finally, this mode enables her to use her powers, abilities and the maximum extent in the normal form. She can easily get excited only in a few hours while fighting her enemies, but this binary mode increases her stamina as well and she can continue her fight even for more than a day. That's all guys. I hope you have got some clarity on Marvel Universe. Like you, I am also waiting for the Avengers End Game. Whatever it takes,